Hello, welcome to my channel, Celestial Oracle Codes. If this found you, this message is reaching you at the right time. This is a collective reading, but it's going to feel personal. So take what aligns and leave the rest. Because what's coming through here is understanding. So it's the kind of understanding that changes how you see everything that's happening. So all right. And one beautiful. All right. So Taurus, what's happening here is a moment of reflection. You may also be a Taurus. If so, that's amazing. So am I. A sun sign Taurus. Okay. Or you could have Taurus in any prominent part of your astrological sign as well. So it could be a rising, could be your moon, could be your Venus, Mars. Yeah, any of those. But it doesn't have to be for this to be your message. So this is the energy that represents this situation. What's happening here is a moment of reflection. You've been looking back at a situation, trying to understand why it unfolded the way it did. There may have been confusion, disappointment, or even a sense that things didn't go the way they were supposed to. In Septagram, the hidden truth is revealed. And the truth beneath this is there was a deeper purpose behind the timing. This wasn't a delay. This was a redirection into alignment. What felt like something being taken away was actually something being moved out of your path. Binah is showing up to show you what isn't revealed or what they're not saying. The deeper layer here. What's not fully seen here is how much this situation shaped your awareness, how much more perceptive you became, how much more enlightened you were by all of it. The way that it opened you up to not only how people truly were in your sphere, but and how deceptive people could be, unfortunately, coming in the shadow aspect of it all. How deceitful they could be in your face. The fact that they could just lie to you willingly without any kind of remorse, honestly. The fact that they can delude themselves, the fact that a certain amount of growth needs to happen, and I'm not sure that that much growth can happen in this lifetime. But at the end of the day, this comes to fully express the fact that your awareness is so much more vast and keen, and you can rely on it. You trust your discernment, you trust your intuition. You have a deeper trust for yourself, and self-trust is irreplaceable. And so no matter how you look at however things have occurred or any confusion that came from any situations, especially the more chaotic situations in our life. It's important to see not only how far you've come and be aware of how far you're going, becoming crystal clear on your desires in the Bina card, but also setting firm boundaries and understanding that the awareness and clarity that you now have is taking you farther than you ever could have imagined and doing more for you in this life now than it has ever before. I love that. So this changed your standards, your boundaries, your understanding of what you truly want. Wow, beautiful. Skelly comes up, that shift is what's aligning you now. Beautiful. So if nothing changes, if you stay focused on what didn't work, okay, if you stay focused on past outcomes, if you stay focused on old narratives or discomfort or dissatisfaction or grievances or anything that did not work out in this life, if you focus on the things that you don't want and not what you do want, if you focus on the misalignment and not on the alignment, if you stay focused on what you didn't want, if you stay focused on what didn't work, you stay connected to the confusion and the chaos. Okay? So, but when you shift into understanding, you start to see how everything led you here. The lesson was never meant to keep you stuck. It was meant to move you forward. You are not meant to suffer, but you are meant to overcome suffering. And this is the beauty of human and spiritual evolution. So it's a beautiful message coming through with you moving forward through any kind of misalignment or misconceptions and reflections that you had to have in this life. Coming through with the divine timing and things working out in a divine way, as well as a deeper abundance in life coming to a closure in your life. So this is you gaining a new perspective in life that leads to you choosing differently. So this is you choosing relationships differently. Or maybe you have dissolved a relationship that was toxic and not good for you anymore. Perhaps this is you cultivating a relationship that you now see is more worth your time than you thought before because of this new clarity and awareness that you now have. Because of this can be chaos, but this can also be an uncomfortable change or growth that you have developed and ultimately successfully mastered in this dinner. And the alignment that is now here is bringing you into your best aligned outcome. So I'm going to give you the power here, and you know I'll always leave you with empowerment. The power here is in acceptance, not giving up, but seeing clearly, using your clarity and getting crystal clear on what you desire and getting crystal clear on what's actually before you, right? This is not allowing any deceptions. This is also setting strong, healthy boundaries and enforcing them, making sure that you live by the core values that you have and really setting boundaries that are structured around and ultimately a reflection of those core values, okay? And then enforcing those boundaries for yourself so that you stay in alignment of nonogram, in that great alignment of the abundance. And I don't just mean material abundance, I mean the abundance of relationships, the mutually beneficial friendships and relationships that what you want in your life, the soul aligned relationships that you want coming into your life. This is not only romantic, and it doesn't have to be romantic at all, right? This is platonic, soul aligned platonic relationships. This can be business partnerships. This is any kind of fulfilling emotional connection that you desire in this life. And ultimately, when you have that, when you accept the power of the clarity that comes with the acceptance of not giving up, of not giving in, but of having faith and belief in the way that it's going to work out for you through the awareness that you have, through the knowledge that you have of all that has come before you, using the steps that you have taken wisely, right, in ways where now we're using the information we've converted into knowledge through our actions as wisdom in the right time and in place in our lives. And ultimately, you're not behind. You're not off track. You're being aligned. That's all. You're just being aligned. And when you trust the redirection, when you understand that it is protection, you stop resisting the path that's opening for you now. Okay? So wait until you see what this is leading you toward, because this didn't just happen for a reason. It's positioning you for something better. So let's see what it is positioning you for. Okay. Okay. So maybe do want romance. All right. But no, it doesn't have to be romance. So let me get us one more clarifier for this situation. Ooh, okay. So you are definitely not playing games. All right. So I see that there was a heartbreak in the past, but it doesn't have to be. This could also be some kind of growth that came through where you now have a different outlook on life. Ultimately, you're gaining a new momentum in the way that you approach thinking about things. You're being more optimistic than you were. You used to be really, I'm not going to use the term down in the dumps, but that's what I heard. And, and ultimately, you're trying to find a new internal dialogue as well. So I love that. You're trying to get in control of your mind and the way that you believe, right? It's kind of like throwing out the non-beneficial beliefs and getting a new belief system that really is structured to establish the kind of lifestyle and the overall fulfillment that you want in this life. All right, so with the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck, what it's calling you to do at this time is to use a new way to communicate your truth, or come up with the way to communicate your truth in general. So either you are not communicating fully exactly what you want, and that can be causing some kind of conflict or problem in your life, or there's somebody in your energy and in your environment who didn't communicate things in the right way, and it has caused problems in your life. Okay, but either whichever one of those, it doesn't really matter. Just know that this has been a growing experience for all involved, and the logic of this situation opened a deeper communication of the truth that has not only solved this problem, but has actually given you some seeming peace of mind. So I love that. With the Seven of Cups coming up to clarify the Seven of Cups, with the Seven of Pentacles coming up to clarify that Taurus energy, in this retrospect, with it being about awareness, we see that in some capacity, your faith was tested on a very mundane level. Okay? So this can either be you had to do some kind of deeper work, where you needed to figure out either a new way to make money, a new way to approach the material world, but also, or this can also be be needing to find the awareness of a new job. Okay, so it can be any of those things, but it doesn't have to be, because it can also be that you needed to pause, check your alignment, or check to see exactly what needed to be changed, what was actually working for you, what was taking your money, and what was actually sustainably building into a more functional, structured, and just a stable lifestyle, a deeper relationship with your finances comes through here, and the material world. So, through the awareness of whatever you are building into, you also are coming into a choice. And this choice is going to be emotionally fulfilling. This can be a harmonious relationship, but it absolutely does not have to be. This is any kind of choice that you are going to make in your life that leads to a new balanced fulfillment in your emotions and ultimately leaves you emotionally fulfilled on some deeper level. Okay? So a choice is coming that you will be making, and you're reminded to stay balanced in the way that you approach this choice and make sure that you are staying balanced internally, meaning that you're trusting the movements ahead with this Seven of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles energy. Trust the stable, practical approach to things. Trust the logical truth that is coming out with this Queen of Swords coming out next to clarify. Trust the internal mastery of your thought processes, and trust that you know the truth. Trust that you can be logical and you have problem solving abilities. Trust your discernment and trust your communication skills. Absolutely. And with the King of Swords coming out right after, this shows that you need to be trusting yourself internally, but it also shows that you need to be taking decisive actions towards your goals using, or, in a logical and practical way, but also functionally in a go-getter sort of way. So this is you actually taking logical approaches, standing in your truth, being authentic with your expression, communicating your will and desires with crystal clear clarity, right? And approaching any problems the same. So you're definitely cutting through the BS with these cards. And you're doing it in a balanced way. Okay, so we're cultivating our relationships and focusing on the things that we are building in life with this combination. And let's do the combos now. All right, so eight, eight of Pentacles and Two of Cups with the Two of Pentacles is so this can be a harmonious business partnership. That definitely can be. This can also be you going into business with someone, right? This can be two people starting a business, and this can also be a couple who are going into business together. Okay, but it can be all of those things, or it can be none of those things. So it doesn't have to be. But ultimately, this combination shows some kind of financially stable and prosperous relationship that is soul aligned. So it can be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. But it is a soul aligned relationship. So this can be any soul aligned platonic business partnership, or this can also be friends who are investment buddies. So ultimately, the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles let us know that not only are you holding a balanced and logical and justified or just a very mindful and authentic internal state, okay? Where you are focused on justice, logic, and communicating truth and making sure that you're solving problems, right? You're also not housing problems and you are not afraid to speak your mind. So this also lets us know that you have a balanced approach and a logical way that you approach going about and getting what you want. By all means, you are definitely a go-getter and you absolutely see what you want and you start making your way towards it. But you do it in a methodical way and you make sure that you logically communicate your desires with crystal clear clarity, and you definitely get very clear on what you want, you know, and then you communicate it to whomever it needs to be communicated to, including the universe, and then you move with decisive and very precise action and you accomplish your goals. So that is what is coming through there. And for the last card, we have Tefirath. So when Tefirath comes up in your reading, it shows that you are embodying a deeper aspect of the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. And that kind of comes out in this Queen of Swords and Queen and King of Swords energy. So that's you moving in a very logical, methodical, powerful, mindful, authentic, and, you know, communicative way, where you are literally either neutralizing problems or you are truly releasing chaos from your being and from your life. Ultimately, this is like the embodiment of the divine on earth. So this is you as the expression, the physical form of the divine. And this just goes to show that it comes from this deeper awareness and some of this tumultuousness or chaos or any kind of shadow or disillusionment that you've gone through in your life. So now this has turned into the light. The dark has turned into the light, and you see it clearly with your new awareness. Beautiful. So there you go. To whomever this reading is for, what an amazing reading, first and foremost. Congratulations on all of the work that you did. You did the work. And you are truly coming into a season of abundance with whatever you're building. Whatever you're building into, it is going to flourish. It has not only divine favor, and I'm hearing you have unseen forces that are looking into your success. So you don't have to worry, okay? Keep doing whatever you're doing, building into whatever you're building strong, healthy relationships, using your decisive, logical actions and way of thinking, right? Using your liberated way of thinking and your justified way of thinking, having balanced thoughts and just being balanced internally, having balanced actions externally, and just moving in a balanced way through the world as you embody the divine while aligned and attract abundance into your life at the perfect time. I love that. So there you go. There you go. My loves, thank you so much for being here with me. If you are not a subscriber, please do consider subscribing. I would love to have you around. Just remember, you're not meant to carry confusion forward. You're meant to carry understanding, okay? And this reading offers insight and empowerment, not fixed outcomes or guarantees. If this resonated, it's because something here aligns. But trust your own path above all, okay? That is my best advice. And until next time, I send you all my light, love, and blessings, and I will see you in my next reading.